Hello children, welcome to online classes. Today we'll discuss objective questions from chemical and ionic equilibrium. Let us take the first question. At a given temperature, equilibrium constant for the reaction NO plus half O2 giving rise to NO2 and 2NO2 giving rise to 2NO plus O2 are K1 and K2 respectively. If K1 is given as 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3, then value of K2. So K1 and K2. So we should find out the value of K2. We are observing the reactions which are given to us, the first two equations which are given to us. So here, the second equation is reverse of the first equation because the products became the reactants here now. So it is a reverse of the first equation as well as multiplied throughout by 2. Therefore, the new equilibrium constant will be inverse of the first equilibrium constant and then square because multiplied throughout by 2. So therefore, K2 will be equal to 1 by K1 square then now. It will be 1 by K1 square. So which is equal to 1 by value of K1 is given, that is 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 the whole square. So which is equal to 0.0625 into 10 to the power of 6, which is equivalent to 6.25 into 10 to the power of 4. So option is C. C is the correct answer here. So when you are reversing the equation, we need to inverse the equilibrium constant, multiplying throughout by 2, therefore we need to square that one. So answer is 6.25 10 to the power of 4. So 6.25 10 power 4. Answer is option C. Then second one. Steam reacts with iron at high temperature as follows. So iron plus water, steam giving rise to Fe3O4 and 4H2. The correct expression for equilibrium constant is solids will not appear in the expression of equilibrium constant, and we have Fe and then Fe3O4, both are given as solids only. Fe3O4 are solids, so these two will not appear in the equilibrium expression. Therefore, Kp will be equal to, it should be pressure of hydrogen to the power of 4, so partial pressure of H2 will come to the power of 4 divided by, it will be H2O here now. So partial pressure of it is H2O to the power of 4 we have now. So therefore Kp is equal to P of H2 to the power of 4 and P of H2O to the power of 4. So therefore option is B. So option is B here. So we need to remember that the solids will not appear in the equilibrium expression. Next one. The reaction X plus Y giving rise to Z plus W proceeds to a right hand side up to an extent of 99.9%. The equilibrium constant K is, the extent of 99.9% means only 0.1% will be remaining, means it will be, so X plus Y giving rise to Z plus W we have. So 99.9% products are being formed, 99.9% implies 0.1 here and 0.1 of X and Y will remain. Therefore, expression of Kc will be equal to 99.9 into 99.9 by 0.1 into 0.1 we have. This will be nearly equal to, we can take it as 100 into 100 by 0.1 into 0.1. So which is equal to 10 to the power of 6 then now. So option is C we have. So 99.9% completion means 0.1 will remain. So therefore option is 10 to the power of 6. So 10 power 6, that is C is the correct answer. Then 3 moles of reactant A, 1 mole of the reactant B are mixed in 1 liter vessel. The following reaction takes place, that is A plus B giving rise to 2C. If 1.5 mole of C is formed at equilibrium constant for the reaction is. So they have taken 3 moles of reactant A, 1 mole of reactant B is taken. So 3 moles of A is there and 1 mole of B is present. So the A and B initial moles are given to us in 1 liter vessel, and at equilibrium 1.5 moles of C is being formed. That is, so A plus B giving rise to 2C. Initially we have A as 3 moles and then B is 1 mole we have, 0 initially. At equilibrium we have seen 1.5 moles of C is being formed. 1.5 moles of C is being formed. Now here 2 moles, from observing stoichiometry, 2 moles of C will form from 1 mole of B now. 1 mole of B gives 2 moles of C. Since we got here 1.5 moles here, so 0.75 moles of B should react, half should react there. So 1 minus 0.75 we have. Once again here, 1 mole of B as per stoichiometry gives rise to 2 moles of C. We got here 1.5 moles, therefore 0.75 should react here now. Here also same way only, 1 mole of A gives rise to 2 moles. We got here 1.5 moles. It should be again 0.75 should react here. So 3 minus it will be 0.75. So remaining moles here are, it is 2.25 here and it is 0.25 moles here now. 0.25 is 1.5 we have. All of them are equilibrium moles. When it comes to equilibrium concentration, the volume of the vessel is given as 1 liter. So to get the equilibrium concentration, you should take N by V, number of moles by volume. So dividing by 1 throughout, value will not change now. Now equilibrium constant, Kc will be equal to concentration of, it will be C square by concentration of A into, it is concentration of B we have now. Substituting the values, so 1.5 square, so it is equal to 1.5 into 1.5, 1.5 square by 2.25 and then it is 0.25. So that is 2.25 into 0.25 we have. Simplifying, we get the value as 4. So answer is option D we have. So here 1 mole of A, 1 mole of B reactant to form 2 moles of C there now. The given 1.5 moles of C are being formed at equilibrium state. To get 1.5 moles of C, 0.75 moles of A and 0.75 moles of B should react. So we subtracted those two from the initial moles and we got equilibrium moles. And since volume is given as 1 liter, we got concentrations by divided by 1 liter throughout. So we substitute in the basic expression. Answer is option 4 we have. So 0.4, that is 4 we got. Answer is D option. Then next one. 4.5 moles of each hydrogen and iodine were heated in 10 liter vessel. At equilibrium, 3 moles of HI is being formed. The equilibrium constant for the reaction is 4.5 moles of hydrogen and iodine are heated in a sealed vessel of 10 liters capacity. At equilibrium, 3 moles have been formed. 3 moles of HI have been formed. What is the equilibrium constant now? So let us write equation, that is H2 plus I2, H2 plus I2 giving rise to 2HI now. Initial moles they are given to us. Initial moles are 4.5 moles each are given now. So this will be 4.5, also 4.5 we have. And then at equilibrium 3 moles of HI were found now. So equilibrium moles now. Equilibrium moles. We are getting here 3 moles. 3 moles of HI is being formed. So 2 moles of HI will form from 1 mole of iodine. So 3 moles are forming from 1.5 moles then. So it should be, so 4.5 minus 1.5 here. Similarly in this case also it will be same thing only, 4.5 minus it is 1.5 we have now. This many moles are left. So 3 here and 3 here and 3 here we have now. Now coming towards concentrations will be equivalent to, so concentration, it should be N by V. Volume is given as 10 liters, divide throughout by 10 here. So 3 by 10, 3 by 10, 3 by 10. That gives us equilibrium concentrations now. Now substituting in the equation, now here Kc will be equal to HI square, HI is equal to 3 by 10 we have. So 3 square by 10 square, which is 100, into concentration of H2 into concentration of I2. It's again same thing, only 3 by 10 into 3 by 10 we have now. So the answer comes to 1. So Kc became equal to 1. So answer is option A. 1 is the answer now. So 4.5 moles of each are taken. Initially we have 4.5 moles of each. At equilibrium 3 moles of HA are being formed. At equilibrium 3 moles of HA is being formed. So 2 moles of HA will form from 1 mole only. 3 moles are being formed, so it will be from 1.5 moles. So 4.5 minus 1.5, 4.5 minus 1.5. So 3 moles of each are left at equilibrium and 3 moles of HA is being formed. Dividing throughout by 10 because volume of the vessel is given as 10, so that we can get the concentrations now. So 3 by 10, 3 by 10, 3 by 10, and substituting in the equation we get the answer. So option is A. So A is the answer. That is 1 is the answer. Then sixth one. The equilibrium constant for the reaction H2O plus CO giving rise to H2 plus CO2 is 0.44 at 1260 Kelvin. The equilibrium constant for the following reaction. Try to observe the reaction given to us. So the reaction is reversed because you see that the reactants which are there here, these two, they became the products here, they became now reactants here now. So reaction is now reversed and is multiplied throughout by 2 also. So implies that the reaction is reversed and multiplied by throughout by 2 implies the equilibrium constant must be inversed and taken square of that. Therefore, the new equilibrium constant, say for example K dash, will be equal to 1 by K square then now, which is equal to, it should be 1 by 0.44 into 0.44 you have 1 by K square, which comes to 1 by 0.1936 and which is nearly equivalent to 5.16 we have. So answer is 5.16. Option C we have. So the reaction is reversed. We should inverse equilibrium constant multiplied throughout by 2. We need to square here now. So inversing and then squaring, we get the answer. So option is answer is 5.16. Option is C we have. So C is the option. 5.16. Option C. Then a gaseous mixture of N2H2 contains 40% by volume of H2. The mole fraction of N2 is. So gas is having 40% volume of H2. So 40% volume of H2. So H2 volume percentage is given. H2 is given as 40%. This implies that the volume percentage of N2 must be equal to 60% then now. Since moles are proportional to volume, we can take volume percentage as mole percentage also. We can take volume percentage as mole percentage. And therefore now mole fraction of nitrogen. So mole fraction of nitrogen will be equal to, let us take the mole percentage of nitrogen, which is equal to 60 here. So 60, so moles and volume percentage we have taken same by 100. So answer is 0.6 we have, that is 0.6. Option is C. So volume percentage is given to us. We can take volume percentage as mole percentage also because moles are proportional to volume. So option is C. C option. Then equilibrium constant changes with. So it is actually independent of concentration, pressure as well as catalyst. It depends only on temperature there now. We have a relation like this, that is temperature dependence of equilibrium constant. Log of say K2 by K1 is equal to delta H by 2.303 R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. This gives relation between the equilibrium constant and temperature. So equilibrium constant changes only with temperature. So option is A we have. So A is the answer. Depends on the temperature. Then ninth one. In a system of N2,3H2 giving rise to 2NH3, the at equilibrium suppose 3 minus 3x moles of H2 and total number of moles or 4 minus 2x moles. If the total pressure of equilibrium is mixture is say P atmospheres, then what is the partial pressure of hydrogen gas? So they have given equation is N2 plus 3H2 giving rise to NH3 is given to us. At equilibrium, suppose we have 3 minus 3x moles of H2 and total number of moles are 4 minus 4x here. Total number of moles are 4 minus 2x, 4 minus 2x. And equilibrium pressure is P atmospheres. Then what is the partial pressure? So partial pressure will be equal to mole fraction into total pressure. So partial pressure of hydrogen here, pressure of hydrogen will be equal to mole fraction of hydrogen into total pressure, which is equal to mole fraction means number of moles of hydrogen, which is given as 3 minus 3x, and total number of moles. Total number of moles are given as 4 minus 2x. So 4 minus 2x into total pressure is given as P itself. So into P now. So number of moles by total number of moles into P itself gives rise to partial pressure. So therefore answer is A. A is the answer here. 3 minus 3x, number of moles of hydrogen. 4 minus 2x, total number of moles. Nothing but we get partial pressure is equal to mole fraction by total pressure. Next, 10th one. In the equilibrium system, 2SO2 plus O2 giving rise to 2SO3 at 700 Kelvin, the partial pressures of the gases are SO2 0.09, SO3 4.5, O2 0.083 atmospheres. What is the value of Kp of the system? Kp we should find out. So equilibrium reaction is given to us. They are given partial pressures also. We need to find out the Kp of the reaction. So direct substitution we have. So Kp will be equal to partial pressure of SO3 square will come. There is nothing but 4.5 is given there. So SO3 square. So 4.5 into 4.5 by partial pressure of SO2 square. SO2 is 0.09 we have. So 0.09 square into partial pressure of O2. O2 is given as 0.083. So into 0.083. So applying direct formula and simplifying, we get the value 30120, which is equal to 3.01 into 10 to the power of 4. 3.01 10 power 4. The option is B here now. So directly they have given us partial pressures. We can apply direct formula itself. So B is the answer. And here one more point is all the values are same here, and if you are seeing the equation here 2SO2, O2 and 2SO3, delta n value became equal to -1. So delta n is equal to -1 implies units will be equal to atmospheres inverse. So therefore option will be option B. We have to see the here units also. Units atmospheres inverse we have because it's coming from delta n value which is equal to -1. Next, 5 moles of sulfur dioxide, 5 moles of oxygen, 5 moles of SO2, 5 moles of oxygen were allowed to react to form sulfur trioxide in a closed vessel. When equilibrium is reached, it is found that 60% of sulfur dioxide is used up. 60% is used up. Total number of moles of sulfur dioxide, oxygen, sulfur trioxide in the vessel is now. So they have given us initial moles of sulfur dioxide and then oxygen gas. They are given to us. And they are reacting to form sulfur trioxide. At equilibrium, 60% of SO2 is being used up. 60% is used up at equilibrium. Then total number of moles are. Let us write the equation first. That is to say 2SO2 plus O2 giving rise to it is 2SO3. Now initial moles are 5 moles of sulfur dioxide, 5 moles of oxygen. So these are 5 and then 5. This will be 0. React to form sulfur trioxide. At equilibrium is reached here. 60% of SO2 reacts now. 60% of SO2. So they have taken 5 moles. In the 5 moles we have to see 60% is how much now. So 5 it comes to 3 then now. So 3 moles of SO2 are reacting then now. So here remaining moles of SO2 will be equivalent to, so this will be 5 moles SO2, of which 3 moles are reacting here now. So when 3 moles react here, number of moles of O2 reacting will be 1.5 only, because when 2 moles of SO2 react here, 1 mole of O2 is reacting, means half is reacting. When 3 moles of SO2 react here, 1.5 moles of O2 should react. Therefore, remaining moles will be 5 minus 1.5. Coming towards number of moles of SO3 formed here now. When 2 moles of SO2 react, we are going to get 2 moles of SO3 only. So 3 moles react means you are going to get here also 3 moles then now. Now the question is total number of moles. So it will be 2 moles from here and 3.5 moles here and 3 moles are there here now. Total number of moles, just adding all the number of moles, 2 plus 3.5 plus 3 we have, the value comes to the 8.5. So answer is option A, we have 8.5 is the answer. So here important point is 60% of SO2 is reacting. So we have taken initially 5 moles, 60% is equal to 3. So 3 moles of SO2 are reacting. So we have taken here 3 moles are reacting there now. When 3 moles of SO2 react, only 1.5 moles of O2 can react from the stoichiometry of the reaction. So 5 minus 1.5, so 3.5 remains here. 2 remains here, 3 forms here. Total number of moles are 8.5. So answer is option A, that is 8.5 we have. The next one, 12th one. Equilibrium constant for the reaction N2 plus O2 giving rise to 2NO is 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4. In the presence of catalyst, equilibrium is attained 10 times faster. Therefore, equilibrium constant presence of catalyst is. Kc is completely independent of the present, independent of catalyst. It only depends upon the temperature. Hence, the value will not remain same. Value will remain same. The same answer you are going to get. So answer is same value. So it is B is the correct answer now. 13th one. The equilibrium constant Kp of the reaction N2O4 giving rise to 2NO2 is found to be 0.83 at 224 Celsius. The value of Kc is. So Kp value is given to us. Ask us the value of Kc. Direct formula we have. That is Kp is equal to Kc into RT power delta N. So we require value of delta N is required here now. If you observe the equation here, so delta N is equal to number of moles of gaseous products. Products are 2 here, minus gaseous reactants are 1. So delta N is equal to 1. So delta N is 1 we have. Observe in the stoichiometry of the equation. Now substitution, Kp is found to be 0.83. So 0.83 is equal to Kc into RT 0.0821 into T. T is given as here 224. This is 224 Celsius. So adding 273 for that, we get 497. So 497 we have. So into 497. Delta N is equal to 1. So we require value of Kc. So Kc is equal to 0.83 by 0.0821 into it is 497 we have. So therefore option is D we have. So D is the answer. D is the answer. So direct substitute the formula only. Then 14th one. The exothermic formation of ClF3 is represented by the equation. Exothermic formation of ClF3 represented by the equation Cl2 plus F2 giving rise to ClF3. Which of the following will increase the quantity of ClF3? Quantity of ClF3 in the equilibrium mixture. So the reaction is being exothermic in nature. Condition is exothermic in nature. When you see exothermic reaction here, first condition, exothermic reaction we have. So when you say it is exothermic reaction means high temperature favors low temperature favors the forward reaction, means right hand side favors the forward reaction. Low temperature favors the forward reaction. When it comes to temperature effect, what we have to see is number of moles we need to see here now. So on product side we have 2 moles are there. Reactant side we have 4 moles are there. High pressure it moves towards the forward direction then. So high pressure, it moves towards forward direction. So pressure is high, the reaction moves in a direction where you have less number of moles. Less number of moles are there on the product side we have. So in terms of temperature, it should be low temperature to move in the forward direction. High pressure also moves in the forward direction we have. One more thing is by adding reactants also it can move in forward direction. So by adding the reactants means here Cl2 or F2. So addition of Cl2 or F2 also moves in forward direction. So temperature wise, low temperature, pressure wise, higher pressure, reactants you can add any of these to move in the forward direction. Now we have to see the options now. Low temperature, high pressure. So let us see the options. This is not correct. By removing Cl2 it moves in backward direction. Adding the reactant it can move in forward direction. Increasing the volume also will decrease the pressure only now. So it can't move in the forward direction. So therefore addition of one of the reactant moves in the forward direction. Option is D we have. So therefore in the reaction here, exothermic in nature means low temperature favors the forward reaction. High pressure because products are occupying less number of moles. Addition of reactants always moves in the forward direction. So therefore answer is option D. Then equilibrium constant for A plus 2B giving rise to 2C is 100. Then the equilibrium constant for the reaction C giving rise to B plus 1 by 2A. When you are observing the equation here, observing the equation given to us, so we are observing these two. One is it is a reversed equation we have. Second thing is multiplied throughout by 2. So the new equilibrium constant will be inverse of the first and root over will come because they are dividing throughout by 2. Hence root over will come. So therefore new equilibrium constant say k dash will be equal to 1 by root of k then now. 1 by root of k which is equal to 1 by it is a root of 100 then now. 1 by root of 100. So 1 by root of 100 is option B here now. So answer is B. Then 16th one. For the following three reactions A, B and C, equilibrium constants are given. So CO, H2O giving rise to CO2, K1 equilibrium constant, CH4, H2O, CO and 3H2, K2 we have, CH4, 2H2O giving rise to CO2, 4H2. 3 we have now. When you are observing the equations, let us take it as equation 1 here. So equation 2 here and equation 3 here now. If we add equation, by observing we can say by adding equation 1 and then 2, we are going to get third equation now. By observing we can say that adding 1 and 2 are going to get third equation. That implies third equilibrium constant must be equal to product of 1 and then 2 then now. Implies K3 should be equal to K1 into K2. By adding A and B we are getting C. Implies by multiplying K1 and K2 we are going to get K3. So answer is K3 is equal to K1 into K2 we have. So B is the answer. So answer is B here. Then 17th one. A vessel contains N2O4 NO2 in the molar ratio 2:3 at 10 atmospheres pressure under equilibrium conditions. Now Kp is equal to how much? So they are given the molar ratio as 2:3 and total pressure is equal to 10 atmospheres we have. The value of Kp. Value of Kp depends upon the partial pressures of the gases only. So we need to find out the partial pressures then now. So the reaction is N2O4 giving rise to, it is 2NO2. Molar ratio is 2:1. Means you can take, moles are 2 and 3 will take. Molar ratio 2:1. So mole fraction. So mole fraction will be equal to number of moles by total number of moles we have. So it will be 2 by 5 here. It is 3 by 5 here now. And then partial pressure. So partial pressure will be equal to mole fraction into total pressure. So 2 by 5. Pressure is given as 10 here. So into 10 here. Similarly 3 by 5 into 10 we have now. So values are 4 here and value is 6 here now. So we know the partial pressures. Now the value of Kp is equal to partial pressure of NO2 square that is 6 square 36 by partial pressure of it will be N2O4 which is equal to 4 we have. So therefore answer is 9 we have. So partial pressure of NO2 square 6 square 36 and that of divided by partial pressure of N2O4 which is 4. So therefore answer is 9. Option is A. Option A. Then 18th one. HI was heated in a sealed tube at 440 Celsius till the equilibrium was reached. HI was found to be 22% decomposed. Equilibrium constant dissociation of HI is HI was heated in a sealed tube at 440 Celsius till equilibrium was reached. HI was found to be 22% decomposed. The equilibrium constant for dissociation of HI is. Let us write the equation given to us. That is 2HI giving rise to H2 plus it is given to us now. Initial moles are not, let us take it as 1 initially because nothing is given there now. At equilibrium here 22% of HI was found to dissociate. So 22% of 1 will be 0.22. That is 22% of 1 will be 0.22. Therefore 1 minus 0.22 then now. And when 2 moles react we get here 1 mole. So when 0.22 react we are going to get here 0.11 half of this. Similarly 0.11 here now. 0.11 and 0.11 here. Now the remaining moles left at equilibrium this here it will be 0.78 are left here now. So 0.11 and 0.11, 0.78 are there. Now equilibrium constant K will be equal to, it is 0.11 into 0.11 by it is 0.78 the whole square we have. Because H2I2 by HI square is there, which comes to 0.01988. 0.0198. Option is C option then now. So C is the answer. The next 0.3 moles of H2, 0.3 moles of I2 are allowed to react in a 10 liters vessel at 500 Celsius. If Kc of H2 plus I2 giving rise to HI is 64, the amount of unreacted I2 at equilibrium is. So 3 moles of H2, 3 moles of I2 allowed to react in 10 liters vessel. Kc of the equation is given as 64. The amount of unreacted iodine is. Let us write the equation first. That is equation is given as H2 plus I2 giving rise to it is 2 HI we have. Initially we have taken 0.3 moles. Initial moles are 0.3 here now. At equilibrium here, let us assume that X moles are reacting then now. So 0.3 minus X, 0.3 minus X and 2X will form here because 1 mole gives us 2 moles on stoichiometry. 2X will form. Then equilibrium concentrations now. So equilibrium concentration, nothing but N by V, number of moles by volume we have. So volume is 10 liters. So it is 0.3 minus X by 10, 0.3 minus X by 10, 2X by 10. So these are the equilibrium concentrations now. Now the value of Kc is given to us. Kc is given as 64. So therefore equilibrium constant 64 should be equal to HI square 2X whole square by 100 into H2 into I2, that is a 0.3 minus X the whole square, again 100 goes to top here now, which becomes equal to, it is a, you take square root on both sides, this implies it will be 8 here. 8 is equal to 2X by 0.3 minus X then now. So simplifying, we get X as 0.24. x is equal to 0.24 on simplification. The value of x is the amount reacting now. Question is amount left off. The value of x 0.24 stands for amount of iodine reacting there. Amount of iodine left unreacted now. So it will be 0.3 minus 0.24. 0.3 minus 0.24, the value comes out to be 0.06 moles is left off. 0.06, option is D we have. So we have taken equation H2 plus I2 giving us 2HI. Initial moles are 0.3 and 0.3 which are given to us, 0.3 and then 0.3 here. Equilibrium moles, assume that x moles are reacting there, so minus x and minus x we have, 2x will form. Volume is given as 10 liters, so dividing throughout by 10 to get the concentrations. Then we have taken the Kc value given to us as 64 here, and we have done substitution here. Finally simplification, we got the value of x as 0.24, and then from the x we got the value of unreacted iodine. 3.3 minus 0.24, 0.06 is the answer. So answer is option D we got. Then 20th one, for hypothetical reactions, equilibrium constant K values A to B, K1 is 2, B to C, K1 is 4, and C to D, K1 is 3. The equilibrium constant for the reaction A to D is how much? Let us write the equilibrium constant reactions now. So A to B value is given as K1 is equal to 2 here. Then B to C, the value of K1 is given as here 4. C to D, the value of K1 is given as 3 here now. When you add all the three equations, this get cancelled here, this get cancelled here. We are going to get A giving rise to D, which is equal to K is equal to, should be product of the 3 then now. K is equal to 2 into, should be 4 into 3 then now. So it is K1, K2, K3 values are given to us. So therefore product of all the three values then now. So the answer is 24 we have. 24 is option C. So whenever we add, if we are going to get the final expression, we need to multiply the respective equilibrium constants to get the final equilibrium constant. So multiplying 2, 4, 3, we are going to get final expression. So answer is 24. Next, 21. So this is 24 here. Next is 21. Kp by Kc for the reaction N2 3H2 giving rise to 2NH3 at 400 Kelvin is. It's also a direct question. Delta N value for this equation is equal to delta N, number of moles of gaseous products minus gaseous reactants we have. It comes to 2 minus 4, which is equal to minus 2. Delta N value is equal to minus 2. Now the formula Kp is equal to, it is Kc into RT power, we have delta N. Delta N value is found to be minus 2. Now Kp by Kc value, Kp by Kc is equal to RT. In all the options, R is taken as R itself only. So R into T is given as 400 here. So R into 400 whole to the power of delta N value is found to be minus 2. Delta N value is equal to minus 2. So Kp by Kc is equal to 400 R whole to the power of minus 2 we have. So option is C then now. So C is the answer. Then the active mass of 0.64 grams of sulfur dioxide in a 10 liters vessel. Active mass is being asked. Active mass means molar concentration only, expressed in terms of moles per liter. So concentration in terms of moles per liter itself is called active mass. So number of moles means mass by molar mass we have 0.64 by 64 gives number of moles of sulfur dioxide divided by volume is 10 liters we have now. So which comes to 10 to the power of minus 3. So answer is option B. B is the answer. So active mass means molar concentration expressed in terms of moles per liter. Then, so answer is option B. 23rd one. In which of the following systems at equilibrium and room temperature, doubling the volume will shift equilibrium to right? Doubling the volume, shift equilibrium to right. Now doubling the volume means here pressure gets reduced. Now, if you increase the volume, pressure gets reduced. whenever pressure gets reduced, equilibrium moves in a direction where you have more number of moles. Where you have more number of moles. So here pressure is reduced. So equilibrium moves in a direction where you have more number of moles are there. So the right hand side must be more number of moles than now. So here delta n is equal to 0. Pressure has no effect in this case. Here more number of moles are in backward direction. It moves in backward direction in this case. It moves in forward in this case here. Sorry, it moves in backward direction in this case because more moles are in backward direction. It moves in forward because we have more number of moles in forward direction. So answer is option D we have. So when volume is increased, pressure gets reduced. When pressure gets reduced, equilibrium moves in a direction where you have more number of moles. And more moles are there in the option D. So answer is D option we have. Then 24th one. Consider the following gaseous equilibria with equilibrium constants K1 and K2. So SO2 plus half O2 giving rise to SO3. 2SO3 giving rise to 2SO2 and O2 we have now. Now here, if you are observing the equilibrium reactions here, the second one is reverse of the first one and then multiplied throughout by 2. So reverse and multiplying throughout by 2 means the new equilibrium constant will be inverse of the first as well as the square we have now. So therefore the value of K2 should be equal to inverse of the first one as well as the square of that. Inverse and square of that. Therefore K2 is equal to 1 by K1 square we have. Or else we can say K1 square is equal to 1 by K2. So K1 square 1 by K2 option is A. So A is the answer. Then next one 25. N2 plus 3H2 giving rise to 2NH3 plus heat. Nothing but exothermic reaction. What is the effect in the increase of temperature on the equilibrium reaction? So the nature of reaction is exothermic in nature because plus heat is given there now. In the case of exothermic reaction, high temperature always moves in the backward direction. High temperature shifts the reaction in the backward direction. And the increasing temperature here, it has to move towards the backward direction. So backward direction is given as option C then, because moving towards left is backward direction. So answer C. So C is the answer. Then 26th one now. The conjugate base of the following. So conjugate acid base pair will differ only by proton. To get a conjugate base, just remove proton from the species given to us. So H SO3 minus is given. Just by removing one proton, so one H plus is removed, we get there SO3 minus 2 then now. SO3 minus 2. SO3 minus 2 is option C. So answer is C. So to get conjugate acid base pair differ by a proton. To get a base, just remove one proton from the acid given to us. So answer is option C. Then next, Lewis acid. Lewis acids are electron pair acceptors. Lewis acid means electron pair acceptor by definition. So answer is D, electron pair acceptor. Donor will be a base, acceptor will be an acid. So option is D we have. D is the answer. Then 28th one. Which one of the following can be classified as Bronsted base? Bronsted base is a proton acceptor. Bronsted base means proton acceptor. So only NO3 can take proton because NO3 minus plus H plus gives rise to HNO3. So NO3 minus can take a proton. Others are given as proton donors. They are not proton acceptors. So answer is A we have. So NO3 minus accepts proton. Then pH of 0.001 molar NaOH solution. So they are given concentration of NaOH. So NaOH concentration, that is to say OH minus ion is given indirectly. OH minus ion is equal to 0.001, which is 10 to the power of minus 3 we have. So from this we can find out pOH. So pOH will be equal to 3. And now pH will be equal to 14 minus 3. That is 14 minus 3, which is equal to 11 we have. So pH is 11. Option C is the answer. So from NaOH concentration we can find out OH minus ion. From there pOH, and then pH we can find out. Answer is 11. Next, pH of, same thing only. Then pH of solution is 5. The hydroxyl ion concentration is equal to, pH is given as 5. So pH 5 implies, pH 5, this implies for us hydrogen ion concentration is 10 to the power of minus 5. From there you can find out OH minus ion also. Or else from pH 5 also implies POH is equal to 9. POH is equal to 9 because pH plus pH is equal to 14. And pOH is 9 means we can say that OH minus ion must be equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 then now. So answer is option D we have. From pH you can find out OH minus applying Kw value, because we know that Kw is equal to H plus into OH minus is equal to 10 to the power of minus 14. Applying this we can get the value of OH minus, or from pH 5 get POH value 9 and then OH minus 10 to the power of minus 9. So answer is option D. 30th one, answer D. Then D is the answer. 31st, dissociation constant of acid HA is 10 to the power of minus 5. The pH of 0.1 molar solution of the acid is, pH of 0.1 molar acid. So is a weaker acid, they are given as Ka value. So for weak acids, the formula of H plus is given by square root of, it is Ka into C. Use the concentration of H plus for weaker acids now. So Ka is given as well as concentration is also given to us, which is equal to square root of, it is 10 to the power of minus 5 into 0.1, which makes 10 to the power of minus 6, means 10 to the power of minus 3 we have. So H plus 10 to the power of minus 3 means pH value will be equal to 3. So pH is 3. Option is option C we have. So for weaker acids, H plus is equal to square root of Ka into C. So answer is 3 we have. So 3 is the answer. Then 32. 0.02 molar monobasic acid dissociates 2%. Hence pH of the solution is equal to, dissociation value is given as 0.2% here, and we have the concentration also. So therefore it is a monobasic acid. So therefore for monobasic acid, H plus ion concentration is also given by C into alpha. It's also given by C into alpha, which is equal to, concentration is 0.02 and alpha is 2 by 100 we have. Alpha is 2 by 100. So which comes to be equal to 4 into, it is 10 to the power of minus 4 we have. This is the concentration of H plus we have. So now the pH is equal to, so pH will be equal to 4 minus log 4 you have, or else 4 minus 2 log 2, 4 minus 2 into 0.3010 we have. That implies the value comes to 3.4. So answer is 3.4. So D is the answer, 3.39. So for weaker acids, H plus is also equal to C alpha. Other formula is square root of Ka into C. So alpha is given as well as C is given. You can find out H plus ion concentration, and then we can find out the value of pH. Next, so answer is option D we have. 33. For preparing a buffer solution of pH 6 by mixing sodium acetate and acetic acid, what is the ratio of the concentration of salt and acid to be used? So preparing a buffer of pH 6 here, we are given sodium acetate and acetic acid now. What is the ratio of the concentration of the acid to salt to be mixed? Value of K is given there as 10 to the power of minus 3. Now let us see the formula. So for pH, for a buffer is equal to, it is a pKa plus log of concentration of salt by, it is concentration of acid we have. So for this we require pKa value. So Ka is given as 10 to the power of minus 5. Ka value. This implies that pKa is equal to 5 then now. So pKa value is 5. So Ka is 10 to the power of minus 5. Implies pK is 5 we got. Now applying the formula, pH is 6. Buffer pH is 6. So 6 is equal to, it is 5 plus, it is log of concentration of salt by acid we have. Therefore concentration of log of salt by acid is equal to 1. Log of concentration of salt by concentration of acid is equal to 1. Therefore, salt by acid concentration will be equal to antilog of 1, which is equal to 10 we have. So 10 is to 1 is the answer. So answer is option B we have. 10 is to 1. So answer is B. So pKa, we found out from Ka value, pK is 5 we got, and pH is given to us. So pH is equal to pKa plus log of salt by acid, and then we got log of salt by acid as 1. So antilog of 1 will be equal to 10. Answer is 10 is to 1. Answer is option B we have. Then B is the answer. 34. The components of buffer solution are 0.1 molar HCN, 0.2 molar NaCN, and pK of HCN is given to us. What is the pH of buffer? So the buffer consists of weaker acid HCN and salt of strong base. So they have given the concentrations of acid as well as salt, and pK is also given to us. Direct substitution the formula we have. So therefore here pH is equal to pKa plus log of concentration of salt by concentration of the acid we have, which is equal to pK is given as 9.3 plus log of concentration of the salt is given as 0.2. So this is 0.2 we have. Acid is given as 0.1 here. This is 0.1. So it comes out to be 2. Log 2 is so therefore 9.3 plus log 2, it is 0.301 we have. So answer comes to 9.6. So pH is 9.6. So option is A we have. So A is the answer, 9.6. Direct substitution we can do because all values are directly given to us. 9.6. Then 35. The pH of simple sodium acetate buffer is given as pH is equal to pKa plus log of salt by acid, and Ka is given to us. Now if the salt is equal to acid is equal to 0.01 molar, what is the pH of solution? First of all, we need to find out the value of pKa. Ka is given to us. So Ka value is given as 2 into 10 to the power of minus 5. From this we can get the value of pKa. pKa is equal to, it will be 5 minus log 2. So it is 5 minus log 2 is 0.3010. It comes to 4.6 then, or 4.7 nearly. 4.7. Now pH is equal to pKa, that is 4.7 plus log of concentration of acid and then salt, both equal to 1 only. So 0.1 and 0.1 means log 1 is equal to 0. Therefore pH will be equal to 4.7 we have. So pH is equal to 4.7. Option is 4.7 is of B we have. So answer is B. So we found out from Ka, we found out pKa, and these two are equal, and therefore log 1 became 0. Then 36th one. A solution of FeCl3 in water is acidic in nature. It's because of it is a salt of strong acid and weak base, acidic in nature. So here Fe plus 3 ion undergoes hydrolysis. So if you take FeCl3 dissolved in water, it undergoes ionization. It forms Fe plus 3 and then 3Cl minus ions. These Fe plus 3 ions will react with water and they produce FeOH taken thrice and then release H plus ions in the solution. So thereby you are going to get acidic nature because of the hydrolysis of Fe plus 3 ion. So Fe plus 3 ion hydrolyzes. So we get so answer is option A we have. So A is the answer. Then next one. Aqueous solution of sodium cyanide is sodium cyanide's aqueous solution. So when you take solution of sodium cyanide, so NaCN in water, it forms Na plus Cn minus. Now Cn minus ion hydrolyzes now with water, HOH. This gives rise to HCN and gives OH minus ion. Therefore it is a basic in nature. So it's a salt of strong base and weaker acid. Salt of strong base, you can identify in that way. It is a basic in nature. But actually ion undergoing hydrolysis is a Cn minus ion, means anionic hydrolysis we have. So basic in nature. Then so answer is option C. C is the answer, basic. 38th one. Let the solubility of an aqueous solution of magnesium hydroxide solubility be X. What is the KSP? The salt is of MX2 type. But this salt of MX2 type here, KSP, so KSP of magnesium hydroxide. This salt of MX2 type we have, so KSP will be equal to 4x cube we have. This type of salt is 4x cube is the answer. Direct formula only. So option is A we have. So A is the answer for this. 38th one, answer A. Then 39th one. KSP of sparingly soluble salt of MX2 is given as 4.0 10 power minus 12. The solubility of the salt is how much? So KSP is given to us. They're asking the solubility, and the salt is of MX2 type as the previous question itself. So therefore, solubility will be of MX2 type is equal to 4s cube now. So 4s cube solubility product, which is given as, which will be given to us in the question as 4.0 10 to the power of minus 12. Therefore, s cube is equal to 10 to the power of minus 12. S is equal to, it will be cube root of this value. 10 to the power of minus 12 we have. So answer is 10 to the power of minus 4. 10 power minus 4 is answer B we have. So B. So for KSP is given for MX2 type of salt is a 4s cube is a formula for that MX2 type of salt. So we got s cube and then s is equal to 10 power minus 4. Option is B option we have. B option. 40th one. Correct representation of the solubility product of SnS2 salt. SnS2 salt. SnS2 salt. SnS2 will ionize into, it forms Sn plus 4 and then 2s minus 2 we have. 2s minus 2 we have. Ions are Sn plus 4 ions we have, and S minus 2 ions only we have. Therefore, the KSP will be equal to product of ionic concentrations raised to their respective coefficients. So it will be Sn plus 4 into, it should be S minus 2 whole square we have. So answer is option A then now. Sn plus 4, S minus 2 to the power of minus 2 we have. So the salt is ionizing as Sn plus 4 and then 2s minus 2. So answer is option A. So answer is A we have. Then conjugate base of NH2 minus. To get a conjugate base, we need to remove H plus from that. So NH2 minus, removal of 1 H plus. We get there NH, but minus 2 will get. So NH minus 2 will be option B then now. So conjugate base, remove 1 proton. So answer is option B. B is the answer. Then 42. Which of the following is Lewis base? Lewis base is always electron pair donor. So if you take ammonia has a lone pair of electron on nitrogen atom. So ammonia will be electron pair donor. Remaining cannot donate because they are electron pair acceptors we have. So option is B we have. Electron pair donor is the answer. Option B. Then H plus is electron deficient species. Electron deficient always accepts electron pair now. Electron pair acceptor is going to be Lewis acid. So H plus is electron deficient, doesn't have any electrons, electron deficient, so accepts electron pair. Electron pair acceptor is a Lewis acid, so answer is A here now. So it is A. Then 44. pH of 10 power minus 2 molar calcium hydroxide. So calcium hydroxide concentration is given to us. So CaOH taken twice is given as 10 power minus 2 molar, its concentration. Now OH minus concentration is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 we have. From this we can get pOH value, that is a 2 minus log 2. So 2 minus log 2, which is equal to 2 minus 0.3010 we have, which is equal to 1.699. The value of pOH. Now from there we can find out pH value. pH is equal to, it is 14 minus pOH, means it is a 14 minus 1.699, which comes to 12.301. 12.30 is the answer we have. So option is B. That is a 12.301 is, we can take it as option B then now. B is the answer. Then 45. The pH of a solution in which H plus is 0.01. So they have given the concentration of H plus asking us pH of solution. So H plus is given as 10 to the power of minus 2. Therefore, direct question, pH is equal to 2 itself. pH is 2. Answer is option A we have. A is the answer. So A is the answer here. Then 46 one. By adding small amount of strong acid to a buffer, the pH of buffer solution. When you are saying a small amount is added, then the pH value of buffer solution will not change. A small amount of acid, small amount of base, or even on dilution also, pH value of buffer will not change. It remains constant there because of small amount is mentioned. So remains constant. The value will not change. Option is A there now. Value will not change. Then 47. Which of the following mixtures form acidic buffer? So acidic buffer will be a mixture of weak acid plus corresponding salt of strong base. It should be a mixture of weak acid. Plus corresponding salt. It should be salt of strong base. That mixture. So if you take the first option, it is strong acid is there, doesn't constitute. Option C, weak base is there, doesn't constitute. Now in option B, we have weaker acid, corresponding salt of strong base is there. Option D, we have weak acid. It is a salt of a weak base also now. So therefore only correct option is B we have. It should be weaker acid plus corresponding salt of strong base. So answer is option B we have. So B is the correct answer. Then 48. Which of the following dissolves in water to give neutral solution? Salt of strong base and strong acid always gives rise to neutral solution. Among all these options here, barium nitrate is a salt of strong acid and strong base. It is a salt coming from barium hydroxide. It is a stronger base, as well as HNO3, also stronger acid. Therefore, the salt solution will be neutral. So option is B. So answer is B. Then, on addition of ammonium chloride to solution of ammonium hydroxide, ammonium chloride to ammonium hydroxide. So ammonium chloride to ammonium hydroxide solution means, let us take ammonium hydroxide first, its ionization, giving rise to ammonium ions plus OH minus ions we have. And they are adding ammonium chloride for this. So ammonium chloride, NH4Cl gives rise to NH4 plus Cl minus. Now we need to apply common ion effect here because this will be in equilibrium state. Should apply common ion effect here. So concentration of ammonium ions have been increased. Implies the above equilibrium moves in the backward direction. So it means decreases the ionization of ammonium hydroxide then. Decreases ionization of ammonium hydroxide. So concentration of OH minus, it will be decreasing the concentration of OH minus ions then. So option is C we have. Excuse me. Option C. Because decreasing because it moves in the backward direction, so this value gets reduced here. We are applying here common ion effect. So the concentration of OH minus ion decreases. Next one. Addition of HCl will not suppress ionization of. Will not suppress. So when you are adding a strong electrolyte, will suppress only ionization of weaker electrolytes now. So HCl can suppress ionization of acetic acid, benzoic acid, H2S, but not sulfuric acid because it is a stronger acid. So answer is H2SO4. So H2SO4's ionization cannot be decreased by addition of HCl because this molecule is also a stronger acid we have. So option is D. So D is the answer. Thank you.